Hello YouTube, the Kingpin of Cinema.
And the QB999.
And we're going to talk about a movie that came out. Oh, Morgan Licious is knocking stuff over, as usual.
These action figures don't like me.
And you don't like them.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're here with a movie review.
A film that came out last week from Jon Favreau.
One we were really hoping for, Cowboys and Aliens.
Something I was kind of looking forward to. A lot of people weren't. I mean, a lot of people when they saw the previews kind of just blew it off. I was like, hey, it could work. I mean, it looks exciting. And we saw it. And, you know, it's not a horrible film. I'm going to say that right now. It's not a good film either.
To be honest, we're just thinking about this, so we just did our Planet of the Apes review. They're like polar opposites. One we thought was going to be good, and it really wasn't. One we thought was going to be horrible, but it was really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just kind of the effect advertising can have. That shows you what advertising can do for a film.
Mm-hmm.
And also just who you have in it.
So real quick, we'll talk about the aspects of the film that we did like.
I thought they did a pretty good job with getting the Western atmosphere there.
Yeah, the tone of the Western imagery that you have works very well. It's all shot very nicely. The camera work is good. It's well paced. And the alien CG looks pretty good.
It looks good.
I thought. You do get good acting performances in this film, but the problem being is that these were kind of the wrong actors to have in the film.
Well, I guess that's all we can really say that we liked about it. I actually liked the first half of the movie. And it's really rare in a movie where you can pick one exact moment when the movie started going downhill. You know from this very second, right here, this is when the movie starts going downhill.
Well,
this is one of those.
This has been a couple of movies this year that had that exact moment where the movie went downhill. Sucker Punch being one of them.
And, well, anyway, so the story is, the title says it all. You have cowboys
fighting aliens. The real title should have been Cowboys, Indians, and Aliens. Because there are Indians in it, and don't anyone fucking give me this nonsense about Native Americans or whatever. Back in the Old West, they were called Indians. So I don't want any of that political correctness nonsense, because whatever.
If you want that, go to the What Makes the Red Man Red video and comment on that. Thank you, Disney.
But anyhow,
So, you know, you have Daniel Craig, who wakes up in the middle of the desert, completely full of amnesia, doesn't know what the hell's going on. Guys come along,
kicks their asses,
beats the shit out of them, steals their clothes and one of their horses, and rides off into a town.
And then aliens attack the town. Gotta find the people the aliens took. We get into another action sequence. Meet up with the Indians. We're like, let's get the aliens. So then they join up with the bandits and they attack the aliens and kill the aliens. Pretty straightforward.
Now with Daniel Craig's amnesia, this is kind of where we come to the first problem, is it seems very specific with the amnesia.
It seems to come up when it's, like, necessary to the plot.
Most convenient.
Yeah, when it's convenient.
It's very selective.
It's extremely
because
selective.
He can't remember anything about his past, he doesn't remember who he is, his name, but apparently he remembers how to kick your ass.
He remembers how to, like, beat the shit out of someone. He remembers to fight, shoot guns well. He remembers enough, you know, like, his favorite alcoholic drink is. So it seems like...
Very selective amnesia.
It only really comes up when it's...
You know, you could say...
to the plot.
You can say it's like, oh, muscle memory and all that, but, you know, it still would be better if he was still a little more lost with who he was. Because it seems like the only part of him that's lost is just his name. I
mean, would it have been necessary at all to have him have amnesia anyways? Would it have really changed the movie that much? Well, probably not.
Other than the fact of him going from at the very beginning, there's aliens. Well then, you know what? I suppose so.
Well, I mean, they're not going to know they're aliens. They don't know what they are.
Yeah.
They call them demons.
Yeah, they did.
You know, which
say that
kind of goes along well with the Western ideal of they don't really understand the concept of space travel or aliens from outer space, so they just refer to them as demons.
I another problem I had, the number of like people like are together like chasing after these aliens seems to be inconsistent at times. Because when they leave the town, there's a lot of them, but then there's a few of them. Then they meet up with the bandits, and the bandits disappear. They meet up with the Indians, and they meet up with the bandits. So it's like,
well, it's like
it seems like at the final battle we have like a ton of people, and it's like well, where do all these people come from?
Well, it's because remember, like when they get to the ship, it's a very quick one line, but all it is just like, hey, where did everyone go? Oh, they all left.
Okay.
And that's all the explanation you get as to where most of the people went, and then yeah, they meet up with the Indians and the bandits, and they get a bunch more people again.
I mean, minor complaint. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But what is kind of a big deal is that the aliens are fucking stupid. For an intergalactic race that travels through space, has mastered space travel, they're pretty freaking stupid. So, like, one of them's, like, experimenting on humans, because how these aliens work is they go to other planets for gold. Okay, I'll buy that. But then they try and dissect the weaknesses, strengths and weaknesses of the inhabitants of that world, so that they can go back to their home world and say, hey, we can take these guys out easily.
And then go and kill them.
And then go and take it over. But, you know, in the first 5 minutes, I could have told you guys from landing here that, yeah, you could take this world easily. Why are you still here?
All they have are flintlock pistols and Springfield rifles and
bows and arrows and spears at one point?
Yeah, I don't know why they need to dissect. And apparently they don't believe in restraining their victims.
So yeah, like the dumbass alien takes off his wrist gauntlet, which is like Mega Man's arm blaster. And what does Daniel Craig do when he's strapped to the table? Puts it on him and gets out.
Well, he's not even strapped to the table. The alien's like testing out with like some laser scalpel thing. Sticks it inside of him, so of course Daniel Craig then takes it, cuts the aliens in the face, and then grabs the gauntlet.
Yeah, and escapes. And it's like, you didn't see that coming? Why did he even take off the gauntlet to begin with? Was it like straining his wrist? He's like, oh god, this thing is really chaffing my wrist. I'm going to take it off and put it right here in reaching distance. And another moment of alien stupidity. So, okay, the movie has the cliche of like, Harrison Ford giving a knife to a young kid, so you know that at some point in the movie, the knife's gonna come into use. So, like, the alien's, like, chest opens up and revealing, like, two, like, little arms. Like T-Rex.
T-Rex.
But it also exposes their heart completely. So what does the kid do? Stabs him right in the heart.
Well, that's later.
But it shows stupidity. It's like, why would you open up your chest cavity revealing the one thing that could kill you? To get at an 8-year-old kid that poses no significant threat to you whatsoever.
Maybe he was a pedophile.
Maybe.
And he just likes his children.
And of course, Daniel Craig using the wrist cannon, shooting 10 aliens as they're coming down the hallway.
More than that.
There's like 20 of them, like a lot of them.
It's like, is that the only wrist bracelet that they all had, that the aliens brought with them?
Wouldn't like the one in the back go, oh shit, a lot of us getting killed. I'm gonna take cover. No, I'm gonna keep charging at them.
And you know, the acting we said was okay, but Harrison Ford being himself, it's just a lot of grunting.
Now, Jon Favreau is really good at bringing out great performances from his actors. Like I said before, this movie just had the wrong actors to it. Because Daniel Craig is boring, Harrison Ford is boring. Originally, this film was supposed to have Robert Downey Jr. And I think if they had kept him, it would have made the movie a lot more fun, which is what it needed to be.
That was a big problem, was the fact that in a movie called Cowboys and Aliens, you'd expect it to be a little more lighthearted. Yeah, it can be dangerous, it can be exciting, but
I mean,
a little more lighthearted, a little more fun.
Think of, like, any, like, Spielberg film. It still has, like, all the necessary elements of, like, horror and mystery, but there's always a sense of fun to them as well. And this one really needed that sense of fun, where, like, a character that you could really get behind and get excited for when he gets into an action sequence. You know, like in the Indiana Jones films, for example.
So now, they've met up with this girl who just happens to be traveling with them. At one point, she gets hit by an alien and dies. And so this is when they get captured by the Indians.
Indians.
They take her wrapped up body and just throw it on the fire. And, because I guess it was getting low. And this is exactly where the movie gets ridiculous,
For him.
Is when the girl walks out of the fire.
Completely regenerated. Like she's a fucking Time Lord. What am I watching, Doctor Who now? Is a TARDIS gonna show up and we're gonna time travel?
And that's when you learn, really, that the girl is actually an alien from another planet whose people was wiped out by these same aliens. And she's just trying to make it not happen again.
Of course, she didn't bring anything to help. Where she didn't try to, Here's the problem. Never early on in the film do they hint at that she's an alien. I kind of already knew, because I've seen some pages from the comic, that she was. But if you're not... You need to kind of establish that she's different from everyone. And they don't.
That's just the part where it just started to get ridiculous.
Really, it was a curveball, because, you weren't expecting it at all. I mean, you just thought she was dead, and then it's kind of a cop-out. It's like, oh no, she's alive. She regenerated like a Time Lord.
They find out everything they need to know from her, because she then explains everything. Oh yeah, we're from outer space, they just came for the gold because they need it. They want to experiment on you, they want to find out how to kill you and everything. So yeah,
then we have to get to the final action sequence, the assault on the alien spaceship, which, the one thing I would have changed... Now, Daniel Craig knows that there's a secret entrance to the base.
It's how he got out.
It's not guarded at all. But they still decide, okay, we're going to have this diversionary attack here, so you guys can get in there and save all the people. Why not just have everyone go into the secret entrance? Now let's just think about this for a second. These aliens take quite a few shots to kill. Unless it's like a headshot where if you get lucky and stab him in the heart.
Or you have Daniel Craig with his wrist...
With his MIG-Man gun.
With his Mega Buster.
The tunnels are going to be very confined and narrow, so you can concentrate your fire on the aliens running at you.
Which is what happened, and that's why Daniel Craig was able to kill 20 of them.
So, it would have made more sense to have everybody go into the tunnel so they can bottleneck the aliens, because as you see them, as the audience is watching them fight outside, they're just getting butchered. Because when these aliens have free range and nothing obstructing them, they're just running circles around these guys on horses and just murdering them.
So, the final battle is just ridiculous. They know they have a secret way into the hidden alien lair. They just choose not to use it.
They don't take full advantage of it like they should have.
I understand, they say, okay, we want a diversionary tactic out here, so then there's less of the aliens inside for you guys to deal with. The problem is...
There's already a ton of aliens still inside.
And not only... There's only, 5 or 6 aliens you see at a time that's outside fighting all these guys?
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig still manages to kill more of them inside that one tunnel than all the rest of the people do outside.
So yeah, that is kind of a big issue. I really can't think of anything else that really needs to be said about it.
And of course, as the cliche, girl sacrifices herself ending to blow up the aliens.
Yeah, whatever. Good riddance.
Hey, if she could die, get thrown into a fire and regenerate, why not get regenerated from a explosion spaceship? Because obviously her body can raise from absolutely nothing left. I don't know.
How did a race lose? How did the world get taken over? Well, whatever.
And they were so big on, these aliens can't escape, we have to kill them, we can't let them get back home, otherwise they're going to come back and kill everyone. Don't the aliens keep track of who's where?
Won't they send someone to investigate?
These guys haven't come back yet. They're fine.
Oh, they're probably all drunk.
So, there was just some things, this movie could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I mean...
They made some bad choices.
All the, nitpicky complaints aside, the biggest flaw of the film is that it should have been fun. And as it stands, it's kind of fun, but
it's too serious.
It's really boring, and it takes itself way too seriously. Especially for a movie called Cowboys and Aliens. This isn't stoic old men fighting aliens.
So anyway, I mean, I don't know if I want to recommend to go see it.
I can't recommend it. It's not worth it. I mean, especially when you got films like Captain America and Rise of the Apes.
Yeah.
Out. Films that are really fun to watch and are exciting. So I can't recommend it. I mean, just skip it.
I'd say skip it, yeah. You know, if you need to see it, read the novel, I guess.
I haven't read the comic, but I'd say buy the comic over this. It's probably better. I do know in the comic they get, like, levitating metal and make horseshoes out of it, so they can levitate their horses up to the spaceship.
Yeah, see, that already sounds better. So anyway, skip the movie, read the book.
Alright, so thanks for tuning in.
And as usual, if you didn't like it,